Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to part 2 of this online workshop in which I tackle two key terms that I'd like to introduce to you: frame and form. All right, so your first task before you even kind of properly write your monologue is to make a decision, okay? Decide individually on the frame and form of your monologue. What are the problems and possibilities that are going to emerge because of the frame and the form you intend to use? Okay, so first of all, let me explain to you frame. By frame, what I'm talking about is about establishing the boundaries of your writing. It's about establishing the context through which the character is able to voice themselves. Okay, so ask yourself two questions. Who is your character talking to, or who do you imagine your character talking to? Because monologue is not a speech, as I said, it's part of drama. And a monologue can be considered a form of dialogue in some ways, maybe a symbolic kind of dialogue. No one ever replies to another character in monologue, but there is interaction between the character and their actual or imagined audience. So think about who exactly is your character talking to here, or who do you imagine your character talking to here? And secondly, what is the real and imagined context in which they speak? Is there a social context? Is there a fictional reality in which they are speaking to other characters? Or is it happening in an undefined, undisclosed space inhabited only by audience and character? Okay? All these choices will determine how freely a character will speak to us, how confessional the monologue will appear to us. Okay? It will affect what they speak about and how fully they're willing to speak about it. Okay? Form. What form will your monologue take, and how will it shape your storytelling voice? Okay? There are many options for form when it comes to monologue. It can be conventional. It can be a direct address, imploring the audience to listen directly to the character's voice. Or it could be something else. It could be written in the form of a diary entry. It could be written in the form of a public announcement. Whatever form you choose, okay, will basically shape what you will talk about and how you will talk about and what you ultimately reveal about your character. A monologue that extends the fictional reality operates like this. Okay? So first of all, speaking about things within the boundaries of social proprieties and reality, who they are on the outside, who they appear to be to other people, in other words. Okay? So if you write a monologue that extends a fictional reality, your frame is likely to directly address an individual or group. It's likely to be staged in a public or private setting. It's going to explore character in the context of their social relationships, because a monologue placed directly in a fictional reality will be necessarily social, because it acknowledges other characters who they are communicating with. Okay? In terms of form, here are some obvious options you can consider. It could be one side of a face-to-face, a telephone, or online conversation that you verbalize. It could be a public speech. It could be a public address. It could be some kind of announcement. Okay? Other options, the dictation of a letter, perhaps, a diary entry, or even an online chat. It could be written in the form of a prayer, if that works for you as well. Okay, these are not meant to be exhaustive in regards to form, but these are some obvious options to get you thinking. Now, a monologue that breaks fictional reality operates like this. It's about speaking about things beyond the bounds of social propriety and realities. It's about who the characters are on the inside and who they are that remains undisclosed, largely in social context, that are now being given voice and expression in this monologue. Okay? So in terms of frame, it could be addressed to a specific or unspecified audience. It's really up to you and what you think will best serve your character. It could be staged in a kind of in-between place between worlds, okay? The character could directly talk about the audience's world, if you like. It could explore characters in the context of heightened and poetic realities, where the normal boundaries of social reality and social propriety are basically suspended, and the character will say things and do things they would not otherwise do. Okay, some forms you can choose here. It could be written in the form of a candid kind of confession or declaration. It could be an intimate exploration of your character's thoughts and desires. It could be a one-sided dialogue with the audience, which kind of points to kind of an interactive kind of performance, even if you don't expect the audience to say anything in response. It could be written in the form of an eyewitness account of events, characters, and situations they dare not divulge in actual social context. Okay? So let's think about how you would imagine this character. Okay? So we're going to start looking at this character by looking at what may likely be unspoken and unseen, even in your final monologue. Okay? Think about these ideas. What does your character look like? How do they dress? How do they act? If you like to draw, you can even draw your character as a way of making that character more concrete and more believable for you. How does this character want to be understood by other characters? Do they want to be accepted, respected? What is the relationship they are imagining for themselves? Okay. Third question, what do they want to say to others? Are they free to speak their mind or not, in monologue form or otherwise, right? So decide what they want. Are they able to give expression to it? Fourth question, what thoughts and feelings do they normally have, right? What doubts, fears, desires, and hopes does the character have exactly? And how might that inform your monologue? Because if your character is generally a very nervous kind of character, that is likely to be given expression in your monologue, regardless of what the monologue is about. So try to imagine your character almost like a human being that could be similar to you or very different, but just give as much detail to this character as possible. Write it all down. And as I said, maybe even draw your character if that's going to help you imagine this character. But try to give yourself every opportunity here to make the character feel real and believable in your mind. All right. So the first task in our monologue writing is this. In the comments thread below this video post, introduce your character to the other participants in 3 sentences or less. Okay? So I don't want you to be too descriptive, too verbose here. Okay? Keep it short and sweet. Get straight to the point of what your character wants most. This is what we call the objective in modern actor training, or the motivation. An alternative is the super objective. The key difference between super objective and objective is that what we call the super objective is the through line that runs through many scenes in a play, okay? But we're just dealing with one character in a short space of time, so let's just talk about objective. Now, the third thing, comment on each other's posts. Ask further questions of the character if you require clarification, okay? So you could choose to write your post in the first person. Adopt the persona of your character and say, I am this. If you prefer, write in the third person, meaning my character's name is this, and try to explain what your character most wants, okay? That's what we call objective. That's what we call motivation in modern actor training. It's what gives your character consistency and clarity from beginning to the end of the drama. All right, so try your hand at writing this post. And as I said earlier, always give validation to other posts. Always comment on other people's writing, because we want to encourage each other to be our best here. Thank you, everyone, and we'll see you in part 3.